Hello, everybody. Yo, we getting started today. We jumping straight into it. We probably not gonna have as big of a crowd because I'm starting earlier than normal, and my analytics tells me most of the people are not online until way later. But I'm just gonna start right now because I got training to do and a lot of things to do later. So with that being said, don't forget to smash the like button if you are here, because we about to get these bozo the clowns out of here. All of these people, the critters. That's what we're going to call them, the critters, the roaches, the whoever. Not talking about anybody specifically. I just mean in a general sense of when you're doing that, because I don't want to come at anybody specifically, because that's not what that is. It's just a mindset there is that at every single turn, the media engine. That's why I said I'm not talking about anybody specifically, because if you work for a corporation, you're doing your job until the point you fire or you're fired or you quit. So in that case, the critters are all coming out. All right, the critters are all coming out. So let's see this. We got the Lausanne meet that happens again here on Thursday. Then there's another meet on Saturday. Don't forget to check this out, because Thompson-Herah did say that she is going, her goal is to go after that world record. So that means she might have actually tried to get the world record in Eugene. And that's what I was telling you guys. She said there's a meet in September, so maybe she's going to fully peak when she gets to September. But right now, check that out. Don't forget the Lausanne meet. That's on Thursday. I think Paris is on Saturday, and she's going to be doing at least the Lausanne meet. And I believe Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce. We also got the pole vault phenom Duplantis there. We got so many world record holders that might be here. There's Rojas, Krauser, Duplantis, Vorholm, and then potentially Elaine Thompson-Herah. So we can add her to the list. Let me zoom into this right here. So those guys are out here. They're going to have Dina Asher-Smith that's going to come out here too. Obviously, I believe Talu is in the race. Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce and Shericka Jackson are also coming there. Like I said, they might be going after that world record to go smash that American and world record right now in the 4x100 meter relay. So definitely keep an eye out for that. They seem to be like the trio, just going on, smashing records, taking names. Oh, don't forget to smash that like button. But today's stream is talking about squishing the critters and the critter energy that's coming out. Like I said, nobody specific I'm coming against, but just know that we got to smash this, because at right in every turn. Did y'all know that when Thompson-Herah just ran that 10:54, you know what people were saying? Oh, maybe it's because you know, a certain Forrest Gump was in a race. Forrest Gump was in a race, so maybe her 11:14 caused her, you know, to put the pressure on the rest of the crowd. I couldn't find that specific part there in the direct words, but it's in the same video that I'm about to play you guys a clip from right now. So definitely you can go back to that video or a video right after that on that same channel. You got the Caribbean channels now saying the same message. That's why I deleted my message earlier, so that people don't misinterpret what I'm saying. And people, I see the comment section saying the Shelly looking good in the thumbnail. Yeah, I got you. Here we go. That's the we got the thumbnail right here. Here it is. They say it's not them. It's the track. It's the shoes. It's everything else. It's somebody else. It's so funny. At every turn, they don't want to give the real people doing the hard work. And yes, Lyle's doing the hard work. Coleman doing the hard work, even though he got banned because he missed those 3 tests. But at the time that he's doing the hard work, they're taking away each and every one of those. Brazier, he hasn't gotten it as bad, but there's a slip in and slip there. If he breaks Radisha's world record, tell me why the critters are gonna come out. The little gnats and flies and all of the media engine is gonna come out and say, oh, it was the shoes. It was the shoes. They're trying to sell you something. And I got an article that says that right now. So while we are loading up in here, I'm giving this long introduction for the people to load up in here. Don't forget to smash the like button and share, because you are watching Head and Shoulders ATR, where we cover athletes' performances and otherwise that are head and shoulders above the rest. So today's content, let me go right over here. Let's go to this right now, because everybody from certain people that are online, they've been telling you that there are fast tracks and slow tracks. That is in some ways true, that they have different surfaces that are going to absorb or distribute your the energy that the force application that you put onto the ground is going to bounce back on you. I can do a whole video and a quick thing on that too, but I'm not going to do that here. For example, you run on concrete, you're going to get more pounding go back up to your knees. That's why you get more shin splints on the concrete versus if you run in grass. They're almost non-existent for some people. Some people still get them, but you're going to get them faster. Your knees are going to feel more pain on the concrete. Your hips are going to feel more, and also your calf muscles. These are all things that if you sprint on the concrete, you're going to feel it more, especially on the flat. Going up a hill on concrete, you're going to feel more of different muscles. I could get into that, but here it is. It says, here's the media engine right here. Tokyo track designer reveals, reveals boost from new surface as records fall at the Olympics. So, Andrea Valerie says the new surface enhances performances by 1 to 2%. Now that's a headline for you. He didn't say for sure it did, but here we go. Let me get straight to the point here, because people have been repeating this. Now they asked him a question, of course, and this is an article. It is meant to, go a certain way. Now, obviously, the production is the same as Formula One tire. So that means when you are, and they said it's the same in every lane, including the run-ups for long and triple jump. Now, I don't know what that does with shot put. I don't know what that does for discus since they're spinning around on the track. I don't know what they can do. Maybe the shoe gets more slick, but then it keeps you in line. I don't know, because those world records are going down too, and I can't see how to improve that too much, but at the same time, I'm not a shoe designer. So what do I know? But here it is. It said it is completely within the rules. But it's also, we were asked to provide 2 components to try to protect the health of the athletes to avoid trauma. So that means they can't make it as hard as concrete, because concrete is going to give you way more bounce back than a track would, a rubberized track or polyurethane or anything like that. But it should also give them a push. In the lab testing, we can see the improvement. It's difficult to say exactly. So here's the mysticism they give you. It says, I don't really know, but I'm going to say, well, but maybe, keyword, maybe a 1 to 2% advantage, which is why I even did that post that said, if this is true, and they said they try to do this at every Olympics. They said they try to do this for every Olympics. Keyword is also try. Every time there's an Olympic Games, we try. We try to improve the formulation of the track, and Tokyo has been no different. He said, the track is very thin, and blah, 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 all of that good stuff, right? Now, if that's the case, then you know what? Elaine Thompson-Herah isn't really running that fast. Why? Because as soon as she breaks Flojo's record, did you hear the announcers already? Did you hear the people? Now, here's something that I want to, that's a different topic. But here is talking about the Trike shoe that I'm not even going to shout out. They ain't paying this channel, so I'm not going to shout it out directly. But here it is right here. It said that a 1% increase in leg length could approximate in sprinting to a 1% increase in velocity for a given force production. So basically, you can take a 9.8 second 100 meters, right, and drop it to a 971. This is how big these improvements are with these shoes. All right. So that means it's not the athletes. That means if we all equalize the people in the 80s, the women that were running in the 80s and 90s, they would blow the bricks off of the women today. That's basically what they're saying. That could be true. But I just want you guys to know this at the same time, that instead of focusing on the athletes and their good performances, they are going to focus on the shoes. And just like it says here, the controversy can help them. Where is it at? It says the notoriety of a band has been useful marketing prop itself. The company has successfully fueled the mythology around the Air Jordan 1 shoe. All right, the Air Jordans. Remember, I want to be like Mike. They were trying to sell you that thing. You put on these Jordans and you're going to start playing just like Mike. You're going to have the same hops as him. You're going to have the same boosting advantage. Turns out that wasn't necessarily true. Man, y'all having a completely different conversation in the chat. Y'all funny. But there you go. Now, here's another one. When the little critters come out and we got to smash them up, we also got to hold to account Karsten Warholm crying about the super spikes from another company that has it because he's better than thou. Because he said, hey, it's unfair that you gave yourself a boost in your shoes. And right here, he said, oh, it's a trampoline effect. All right, here. So, wait a minute. He said that it is BS. Oh, now it says I need to register. Wait a minute. There we go. So he said it's BS that the shoes act like trampolines and it takes away from the credibility of track and field. This is why track doesn't explode. Because at every moment somebody runs fast. It's never about the fast performance of the athlete unless they're the chosen athlete. And we know who the chosen athlete is right now. The one that they keep making excuses for. Right? The one that they keep making excuses for. Here's an example of one of the excuses being made.
We got a personal relationship, so we already family. We talk like this all the time. I'm telling you, like, I wish I could maintain the level of confidence that sha'carri Richardson did in the midst of a loss. Like I said earlier, if Keep That Same Energy was a person, it's sha'carri Richardson. Because
now, that's somebody, now that could be something admired, but at the same time, it's like, oh yeah, I'm happy that she was able to talk trash to everybody else, even though she got nothing going for herself, got blown out. Now, this is where I think it gets into a publicity stunt right here, right? And then I'm going to get back to the shoes, because another person said that the Richie Rich Forrest Gump was maybe part of the reason as well that they ran so fast. But here's something, and let me see what you guys think here before we get back on topic. What do you guys think about this one? That this was a publicity stunt in some ways, because it's like, well, if you aren't trained properly or whatever, you shouldn't show up. Or you should say to the statement is, hey, look, I'm out here. I'm just trying to put in the time for, I haven't ran in such and such, right?
Man, is that she knows. She knows whether her training was going well. She knows, and she still went online and did the Nicki Minaj video. I'm like, whoa. You know, so it's like, you know, I feel like she can't get away from it. Like, you made us all feel that she came there ready to run fast, and this was going to be a race with you and the three Jamaicans, and you didn't deliver. And
all right. So what do you guys think about that one? Where this could be like the whole thing about getting attention. Maybe that helps track. Maybe there's something different that helps it other than, you know, Warholm crying about the shoes takes away from the credibility. Or somebody crying about performance-enhancing drugs, like some people in the chat, I'm not going to name any names, when their favorite Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce didn't win, they started to go on a tangent saying Elaine Thompson-Herah has been using PEDs. Every time somebody's going out and then saying, hey, look, somebody's running a fast time. It's not the one I don't want. So I'm going to say that they're using drugs. I'm going to say the shoes made them faster. It's not their performances. It's not their training. Oh, heck no. It's none of that. I'm just going to go over here and say, well, my favorite athlete didn't win. Forrest Gump was all the way in the back. I admire her energy of cursing everybody else out, forgetting the name, and using a vague term. She said, I congratulate those winners. She couldn't even remember the name the way she came out. It was kind of condescending when she said it too. For whoever won. What, whoever? I just want to give a shout out to the winners of this race. And I'm that girl. And I love that energy about her. Because when she says something like that, that inspires me. For when I fail in life, I'm going to curse everybody else out and blame them. That's basically what they're that's what the people are doing here. They said, hey, you know what? Somebody did better than me. Somebody's doing real fast. So let me just take away from them. And it's crazy because even Warholm is doing this. He feeds into this same thing. He's saying, I don't see why you should put anything beneath a sprinting shoe. In middle distance, I can understand because of the cushioning. And then he said, but if you put a trampoline, I think it's BS. And I think it takes away from the credibility of our sport. He says this about Benjamin because he has a certain company, Trike, making shoes. And so farther down in this same article, I can leave it in the description or in the chat. He then goes on to say, hey, look, I basically don't put that much of a carbon plate in my shoe. So I'm better because it's more comparable to the old times versus that. But guess what? If this is an enhanced track, you're still getting the benefit compared to the old times. So you may as well go all the way. Now, let me read some of the comment section here. It's the energy, not the running styles. I don't know if they remind me of each other. Oh, yeah, y'all still talking completely off topic. So with that being said, look, I think that is my phrase. Somebody said it in the comment section before. Guys, you are here. Smash the like button. Share this video with other people because we are talking about the discrediting that they do at every single turn for different athletes, different performances, different things that they do. Here's even this, where Christian Coleman, let me zoom in on this video right quick. So here's Christian Coleman. He broke the indoor, if it displays properly, 60-meter world record. So he brought it down to a 6.34. They said 6.34. So at this point, now they're saying that he has some super shoes on, and that's why he could actually break Bolt's world record because of the super shoes. Now, that could be the case. Did Michael Johnson, that had the shoes designed for him, the golden shoes, did that help him break the 200 world record? Probably. Did the improved track help him do that? But can we measure it? Because if that's the case, Michael Johnson is in fact faster than Usain Bolt, any of his performances that he put down on the track. Because a 1% improvement on a shoe going from 9.8, let's zoom this in so you guys can see it. They even say it here. Mathematically, it's a 9.800 going down to a 971. Now imagine that over 200 meters. 200 meters, if you can do that. Now, maybe they didn't have the same leaps and bounds where they improved the track or the shoes. That's just talking about the shoes. We're not even talking about the track. So at this case, should we even care? They said the track was fast in Doha in 2019 as well. Funny thing is, the track that they used in Doha, I looked this up, is the exact same track surface that they used in Rio. They have used the same thing. The track surfaces that they used in London and I believe it was London and Beijing were the same ones. Then Rio and Doha, everything between Rio and Doha were the same ones. And then this new one is basically a remixed Rio version. It's an experimental one because at the end of the day, would you know until you do it, right? So it's kind of crazy. They said, you're right, Hassan, but if Shelly can go below 1063, it'll be 1059. So here we go. There's another thing there. So basically, when the women eventually, when Elaine Thompson-Herah breaks Flojo's world record, what's the first thing you guys think they're going to say? Are you guys thinking that they're going to say, oh yeah, she's worked real hard over the years. She's injury-free this year. She's been injury-free so that now she can reach her full potential, not just be at the 10.7s because she's battling through injury but still able to run fast. No, it's the shoes they gave her. It's the track that are there. Because in that case, if Flojo's running in the same shoes and the track that we got today, assuming that that wasn't a wind-assisted time, then wow. Talk about that's going to be crazy. Just talk about that's going to be crazy. Think about Evelyn Ashford, Gail Devers, Merlin Odie. Think of all the Adi. Think of all the people that were competing back then and place them today and with the shoes and the track. If it's improved by 1%, you guys don't know how much 1% each and every one of these upgrades. They're basically saying 1 to 2% on each one of these track upgrades. So we got Tokyo now. We had Doha and Rio was the same one. We had London and Beijing were the same track. And then we had, obviously, Athens had the same track as Sydney, if I'm not mistaken, and then so on and so forth. So basically every 2 Olympics or so, they're trying to change up how the track is, or roughly somewhere around there. So in that case, Michael Johnson is faster than Usain Bolt. Matter of fact, he's faster than the 400-meter world record. Update him with the carbon-plated shoes. Edwin Moses is probably placed second in that race ahead of Benjamin with his performance, if you calculate it that way, not even including the shoes. That's just talking about the track. So it's just too many things there. The crickets and roaches and everything that come out. But here's one other thing that I found kind of disturbing myself with this. So let me play this on the screen. Let me get this guys up on the screen for you. So obviously this is Sports Max. They got some good content, but this is where I'm talking about, and this is nothing against this guy in general. He's sharing his opinion, but this is kind of like what I see is happening here. This is the whole thing. You got the Caribbean nation saying it, you got the American nation. So it's not even like, oh, it's just a bias for Americans like people keep saying. It's literally, you're going to see it with Jamaican media, American media, freaking Bahamian media, British media, everything. Here we go. Hey guys, can you actually hear that? Before I continue with that, can you guys hear that? What I'm playing on the screen right now? Because if you guys can't hear it, they said we can barely hear. Okay, hold on. Hold on a second. Let me change my audio. Let me change my audio up and rewind this one back. Where's the timestamp I got? Okay, I'm gonna change the audio from where I have it on the device I have it, and I'm gonna switch it over to a television. Yeah, this is Sports Max. Now, you see the same thing with all types of media. This is just the one that I'm using here. And like I said, it's nothing against the guys on the screen. So, all right, let me change my output audio real quick. All right. And then you guys let me know if you can hear it. I'm about to play this here. And 3, 2, 1. Oh, wow. That's not loud either. What is going on? Okay.
Most track and field experts considered the 10:49 world record by Flojo out of reach for any of the current athletes, but somehow it is beginning to look possible, is it?
Okay, now, listen, he said many people said it was out of reach, right? And actually, let me do something else. Let me do a step better than that. I'm going to screenshot that because fair use. I'm going to screenshot it. Now I'm going to take the screen just in case. I don't want to get a copyright strike. You know how some of this stuff is. So I'm going to play this audio, and then you're going to hear this. Now listen to his response. Listen exactly what he says after this.
It absolutely is looking possible. And I was one of those people who would have considered it far beyond the reach of any of the current crop of athletes. And what has happened in the last couple of years, perhaps, is the fact of technology and the fact that there are improved training methods and faster tracks and everything coming together. And then you put together races where they are some of the best and fastest women of all time competing together. And then you add this extra thing where there's a newcomer who seems not to respect what the veterans have done. I think it's created like a cauldron, an environment where now Elaine is showing that she is indeed a cut above everyone else.
Okay, now, you see that? This is across every single form of media. When they have an agenda, it will be in every single country across the board. It doesn't matter where it is. It will be in inside and outside of sports. The post that I had up today was talking about when they have an agenda for you, and I deleted it so that nobody would take those words out of context so that I could say it myself. So when somebody has an agenda for you, these are some of the agendas that they have here. And it's not necessary. An agenda doesn't mean something negative or okay. It just means that you have a plan. And that's what we all should have for our lives. We have a plan. Your family has a plan. Y'all should sound like a freaking mimic of each other. The head of household be like, this is the rules. This is how we gonna go outside. This is how we respond to something. So with this being said, the inside of track and field media says, if, and you will see all versions of this, if Forrest Gump was not in the race, do you think Thompson-Herah could have ran a 10:54? That's the first one. Second one is, the times aren't getting faster. The times are getting faster because of shoe technology, fast tracks, and perhaps, that was his exact words, quote unquote, perhaps improved training. Now, if that's the case, now I think if anything, it's the improved training. That's what I think, because the women have been, with the exception of Flojo, if you really think about it, there's been women that's been running in the 10.7s for like the longest, and then you get a couple that run in the 10.6 and then 10.8s. Like that happens. Now, outside of track and field, which you have heard in track and field too, here's the agenda. Mental health, aka let's talk about our feelings in a group huddle, feel sorry, and not actually do anything. That's what you're gonna see a lot. You see the guys talking about it now. They getting in a group huddle saying that mental health and stuff. All of these things are important in different ways, but it's not talking about, oh, mental health, let's do something about it. It's more like, hey, look, we got mental health problems too. Or I got a mental health problem. Yeah, I'm going through all of these struggles. And a lot of these mental health things are put on by the people themselves. They don't give you that context. It's just mental health, mental health, mental health. Secondary is a mother can still do well no matter what, as if that were ever in question. I don't think I've ever heard a media platform or even looked at history and saw somebody that didn't think somebody that had a baby was somehow incapable of being an adult human being. But the way that they're pushing it is, oh, see, mothers, you can do it too. Now, you hear this every time Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce gets the mic in front of her. The first or second question is, mother this, mother that, mother. And then I'm almost like, hey, is she gonna roll her eyes? It's just like you go somewhere and you the black person and they say, oh, how does it feel being black? I think they asked something like that to Dina Asher Smith. So that's what they're saying. And David Anthony said, I see what you're saying now. Now I'm going to play this one more time for some of the people that just joined in. We're talking about the creatures, the critters. Let me move and put a different picture up here. We got this for a while here. Hold up. We can have this here. But look, don't forget this one when they ask this question.
Jamaica 1, 2, 3. Should we have expected anything differently?
No, we shouldn't have.
Now she had a response. Shelly-Ann had a response there. So don't forget that they're going to try to take away at every single time. I'm going to play it one more time for the people that just joined. And if you just joined, don't forget to smash the like button. Now here's the context. The gentleman was asking one of the hosts here, hey, what do you think is the reason for Elaine Thompson-Herah's time? And here's the response.
Out of reach for any of them, is it?
It absolutely is looking possible. And I was one of those people who would have considered it far beyond the reach of any of the current crop of athletes. And what has happened in the last couple of years, perhaps, is the fact of technology and the fact that there are improved training methods and faster tracks and everything coming together. And then you put together races where they are some of the best and fastest women of all time competing together, and then you add.
All right, now I see somebody called King Knight said U.S. media hype up anything with a pulse. No, this is not the U.S. media. This is Sportsmax. This is not the U.S. people here. I heard this on, what is it, Caribbean? Dang it, it was Caribbean something. I forgot the name of the station, but I've been listening to different ones. They sound like mirror images of each other. Like, I think Sonia Richards-Ross is probably the only person that said something about, number one, holding Forrest Gump accountable for her actions. So with that being said, oh my goodness, that is my catchphrase. Now I can't, after I saw that in the comment section, I can't unthink it every time I want to say that now. But yes, when you hear it at different nations, They said, yes, the Jamaicans can actually run when it matters. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about let me get this off of my screen so we can get here. Let me move this on. Get off my screen. So what I'm talking about is discrediting different people or coming up. Like everybody's making an excuse in media, or most people are making an excuse in media for Richardson's poor performance. Like straight up. Like what is that? Now, Sonia Richardson Ross pointed out something. She said she knew, as an athlete, you know where you are in your training. You know if you're about to come out and run a fast time. She said what she should have done was to say that, hey, I'm coming out here and I'm just trying to, she still did the Nicki Minaj video thing. She still did there and flamboyant roasted people on social media. So that tells me it's a publicity stunt, which I had already suspected that. Because there's no people, even if it's a couple months, you know how many people, I could break that part down too. Where Otto Bolton and other people, it's a mirror image of each other. They're saying, well, this shows how much not coming out to race in a couple months is. No, you train. How come Verhoeven, his first race was the world record? How come other people can come out, or Dalilah Muhammad, she came and she ran, and then the next race that she ran was the U.S. Olympic trials, and she wound up knocking, 3 seconds off whatever time, or a very fast time in the first round, in the second round, and in that one, right? Like, what is it about how these other people can go a month and some weeks, or a long period of time, and they can improve, but she can't, and now we got to be like, well, the last time she raced, we felt sorry for her, and I'm gonna feel sorry for her now, even though she just cursed everybody else out, forgot their names, was coming in like a rock star diva, and she's bringing attention to our sport, so we gotta be, a little nice to her. We gotta be a little softball, because if we don't, she's gonna rage quit and leave and take all the followers and money with her. So that's kind of how it is. They said, King Knight, let me read the comments. They said, I think her training was one thing, but Shelly-Ann shook her. Even the great Carmelita said it's that fast that sometimes she would get shook. Yeah. Tiana Daniels David Anthony said, Tiana Daniels deserves more respect than sha'carri B for sure. I agree with that point. She is quietly getting better. Wait a minute. Somebody said the women are running the same time as men. Wait a minute. Where are we? Huh? Wait a minute. What? They said, I think the tracks improved, but I don't know if it's so much. The best women ever assembled, so faster times are produced. Yeah. So on the women's side, there's more attention given than it was in the past. Like here, Christian Coleman set the world indoor record of a 6:34. Every single company is trying to compete with others to try to improve the times. This has always been true. But on one side, we didn't see the women's times drastically improve like that. Look, the 400 is still standing. The 800 is still standing. The 200 and 100 are still standing. That means those were great performances in their own right. That's not, I guess. So, but the men's times were steadily improving. That tells me something was going on with the women's side, that it wouldn't necessarily be the shoes. You notice the women are running with better form in general now. They're probably having more consistent training now than they were before, because in general, the women are not looked at to as the athletes, or not given as much respect. Just like what happened in Kenya and Ethiopia. They were running in spite of some of the negativity that they received. So you're going to see the same thing over here. They said, let me see. They said Forrest Gump is yet to prove herself on the international circuit. Until she can run with the best, remain humble. They said that Daniels deserves respect for her effort. E-Dub said, wouldn't be surprised if she told Elaine right up to the start that Forrest Gump would not run better than her. It was all a media ploy to boost ratings. Yeah, I'm sure. Because people said that, I don't know, Forrest Gump looked shook. But do y'all notice that her voice normally is shaky? She has a normally shaky voice. So people were thinking that because she had a little there. That's how her voice is normally. Do y'all listen to her talk? Maybe not. But just listen to her ad where she was tapping her freaking fingers and her voice is kind of shaky in and out. That's how she talks. So maybe with the bias of where you were listening to her and saw that, she didn't look like she was shook at all. Don't forget, this ain't the first time she's finished dead last. Forrest Gump finished dead last at the USA Championships when Tiana Daniels burnt her bricks off in 2019. Don't forget, at those trials for Doha, she burnt the bricks off. She won as a national champ, and Forrest Gump came in last. This ain't the first time. So she's already used to coming in last. She's okay with being in last place, because the first will become last and last will become first. What is that? That's what it says, right? So she's like, hey, I'm in last place. That means I'm really in first place. So with that being said, look, they're going to discredit these performances here based on the shoes, based on the track, based on other people being in the race. And even here, let me just say this. Even you guys, I'm not. Oh, okay. Fireheart said, before I get into that, Fireheart says, if it was a media ploy, sha'carri B winning makes more sense because they would push her more and think she's way more marketable. Don't try to push the Jamaicans. They don't try to push the Jamaicans. So how does that help? Okay, look, I'm going to tell you this way. This is some marketing secrets of somebody that used to be a marketing director. I had some friends do something stupid that he told me later on. I actually am a little bit upset because he was like, don't be mad at me, but this is what I did. I didn't know this before. So he had a video game that he wanted to push, right? And I got to change this up because I don't know how many companies did this, but it's actually happens quite often. But he had a video game that he wanted to push. Well, let me put Christian Coleman's credentials on the screen. But so he had a video game he wanted to push. The video game came out. It was I can't tell you what type of game because then it gets too specific. I don't want to identify him against his permission. But the game winded up being released. It was perfectly fine, but then they faked that it was some guy that was saying, you guys scammed me out of my money. That was the first step. They said, oh, it's a scam out of the money. It's a scam out of the money. And apparently that was a fake thing. To me, I didn't know. He was like, hey, some dude is commenting and complaining here. And apparently I'm his test dummy. So he used it on me too. And so I looked at his Facebook and saying, wow, that guy's trolling you or whatever. And then the game stopped working. They programmed it in that the game would stop working. Then they pretended like they were going to do a fix to the game. The whole time the game was working, they just had a code that they programmed it to stop working within 24 hours. Then they said, okay, fans, we're going to stop. We're going to work on it. We're going to do our codes and debug it. And then what we're going to do is, all right, once we debug this, we're going to release the update. They purposely waited 2 to 3 days, and then they released the quote unquote update that was always there. And then the game started working. Do you know what happened to their sales? Their sales went and freaking 12x'd. Their sales 12x'd. And just like you guys, I'm talking about the shoes and discrediting thing. And you guys in the comments, even still, I'm just going to just say it like this. You guys are responding more to when I talk about Forrest Gump than when I was talking about even the Jamaicans themselves. Do y'all notice that? Even with yourselves. That means that they got you in an emotional state that you're mentioning her name more than you're mentioning Elaine Thompson-Herah, more than Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce, more than Shericka Jackson. Because negativity sells. If she won, that wasn't good enough. What happens is you're going to have more of a story. It's called a storyline effect. You're going to have somebody that you feel sorry for. Forrest Gump. First, oh, you don't know what I've been through. This is what she says. She said, hey, I've been through this. We got companies that's talking about she was raised with a single mother household, as if so many Jamaicans and other Americans aren't coming from a single mother household or a single father household, or they don't got their own problems where somebody passed away. Like McPherson had a friend of hers that had passed away a year before, and she had dedicated that race to it. And we got all of these things, but they're making her more human, and she's sharing that, unlike other athletes that don't share it so much. So she's able to connect with people in an emotional way that everybody else isn't, because they want to avoid controversy and let their feet do the talking. But if you let your actions do the talking and don't talk and express that self, she's fast. They know how fast she is. Justin Gatlin said that she might be able to run a 10.5. I believe that. I believe it. He's not going to just blow smoke up somebody's behind. And he didn't say it with a certain look. He was like, hey, if she can get it together and focus, that's the thing, then she might be able to do that. So that means with her ability of being able to run a 10.5, and if she had that non-180 time that she eased up, she's at least a 10.6 something athlete. I can see that myself. Anybody that's being honest can tell us, can tell that she is at least a 10.6 potential. Until she does it officially, legally, then she's a 10.6 potential. Now, they say even if it's a market employee, I don't think her at her best beats Elaine. Yeah, exactly. So the biggest thing here, knowing that she might not have beat her, let's say that all of this was a market employee, the weed thing or everything. Let's just assume that was, right? Let's just say that it was for a second. And we're going to put Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce here for a second. I'm going to do different athletes so we can get them their shine. So here's her credentials on the screen. So if it was all a media ploy, let's just say the first one wasn't a media ploy, and she just happened to blow up. They notice something and they see a trend. Oh, okay, this is what we're going to do now. You don't do it too many times. You do it just enough. Remember, in boxing, you can make more money losing than you can winning. For everybody here, you guys care more about the act of winning. But some people care about just the money and the dollar signs. I'm going to tell you this honestly. If somebody tells me to come out to a track meet to announce, I would never, ever voluntarily do it without getting paid. I could be a paid volunteer, but I would never just do it. They were like, oh, wow, I thought you like this. Oh, yeah, I don't love track that much that I'm just going to be, I think asinine enough to just do it for free. I'm not volunteering. Now, y'all officials, you might volunteer. The other people might volunteer. I'm not going to do it. This is not a little kids meet, like a little middle school meet, right? And if it was a middle school meet, you got to find somebody else to announce for that one and do it for free. I will get paid to do it at the very least. So if it's somebody if it's not just a middle school meet or something like that, then we can have that. So when it comes there, looking from the business perspective, all she has to do is get in last, get embarrassed, go out there and then start controversy, start cursing people out, start trash talking and continue. Unlike at the Olympics, that would have been the completely wrong time to do it because she's not actually there. Instead, now she can look like a complete idiot. And you guys are maybe soaking it up. Just like those actors and actresses that do the fake tears on screen, all she is, in my opinion right now, is an actress. They said Justin Gatlin is Captain America. Brooklyn-born, became legend, removed from action for years and reemerged back into the fray years later to challenge the new world. Hey, you know what? That's a good narrative. Huh. I wonder if that could be a new topic. Thanks, Auburn. So, Fireheart said, I wouldn't say that about most American sprinters, just some. Allison is very grounded too. So too, Tiana. Gabby seems grounded as well. They say, I have this to say. Pimp said this. Jamaican female sprinters seem more grounded. American female sprinters seem more wanting to entertain. Nah, not really. It's only a couple. It's only a couple of American female sprinters that are like that. And it's not really there. They're all pretty grounded. I don't see that. Unless you can point out the ones there. I think maybe you're projecting from Richardson. Because think about Kenny Harrison. She's too grounded. She needs to be more aggressive. You got the world record. You got to come out there. She doesn't have a confidence or the fire in her. I don't see that among her. And I think that she should have that fire among her. She's just not showing that. And so I think she needs to be a little more aggressive. She's the world record holder. Then you got TT Terry could be doing some more talking. They all just kind of go out there and do their things. Alice and Felix don't really talk too much like that. You could tell she's aggressive and she might say something to her competitive. But really, I think maybe you relate more to the Jamaican sprinters than you do to the Americans. But they're about almost the same in my book, most of them. You just got Richardson out here doing some crazy stuff. And then Katie said, I laughed so hard when you said complete idiot. They said TT Terry be talking. Maybe to collegiate competitors and whatnot. Oh, did he copy and paste the comment? Does anyone think Elaine breaks the 100-meter record this season? Yeah, I think she can. I think she can break that. She already said that that's her goal. Right after this last one, she confirmed it more directly. Now that she's gotten into the 10.5 low, well, 10.5 mid-ish level, 10.5 I think it would be considered low. But so she's in a 10.5 range, and she did that. And I think she's now directly said it. Before Tokyo, she said she wanted to do something special. Now she's like, yeah, I think that's my goal. And why not? You're on top of the world. You're the fastest woman in the world, as we have Shericka Jackson here on the screen. My next topic is Shericka Jackson a better Allyson Felix? And I know that's going to hurt some feelings with some people, but they're going to have to come into context. And the answer could be no. And it's not going to be, oh, how many medals does she have? Jamaica, quite frankly, is not as good in the 4x4. So that's going to be shot up her medals right there. Because when you think about it, she has to depend on other people, just like Allyson Felix. The U.S. is a better nation when it comes to the 400 than almost every other nation on the planet. Just the 4x4s are complete blowouts most of the time for both the men and the women. So when it comes to, she might not ever get another chance to do the 1, the 2, the 4, and the 1, the 2, the 4x1, and the 4x4 at the same time, because you can't just rely on Jamaica not being as strong in the 4x4 and getting the medal. When she messed up in the 200, that shot her a lot in the foot. But that's a different topic, and I'm going to save that one for the next broadcast. But for this one, they said, Thunder Juice said, TT Terry is a bit shaky in the finals when she's a favorite. Lost to Brianna at World Juniors, Kimba at NCAA Indoors, and then Sturgis at NCAA Outdoors. Yeah, with Sturgis time, I think that was kind of because Sturgis ran just too fast. The other ones, though, yeah, I don't know. The pressure gets on her, and then TT Terry gets the deer in the headlights look, and then she's like she crashes against the wall or something. They said better Jamaican athlete, not better than Allyson yet. And then they said Allyson is greater though. Yeah, so that's gonna be a different topic there. So let me get back on topic here, where we talking about discrediting their times. Every single time they're running, I want y'all to just realize this. It's every country, it's everywhere. They learn this from a certain Adolf dude, that if you repeat a message, especially if you do it in a yelling or an argumentative tone, and you repeat it over and over, even if it's not true, it becomes true. The sports is where emotions and all of that stuff collide. Like I said, we got Forrest Gump that's out here causing a ruckus. And this is why I say I wish other people would cause a ruckus too, because they can do it. Now, I was told by a buddy of mine, said, I don't know if I would trash talk if I got to be in the same lane as somebody else and running around the track. And I was like, well, I think Mo Farah trash talked the other athletes, and they were trash talking him, and he was perfectly fine in the 5Ks, the 10Ks, 1500s, and they were kind of, I don't know, beating him up on the side, and every little jab that they can get on him, they kind of sort of did, as they talked about it in outside race videos. So, and that's why he was so upset during his final 5K. I think that's the one he got silver. He was like, oh my goodness, he like broke down. He was so angry, especially it was in London. So he just said, yo, in 2017, the guy almost broke down. They said, tell that to the 1952 Olympic 4x4 squad. Wait a minute, what's the response to? They said, I love Allyson. She is that teamwork athlete you could look out for. No, that's not the one I'm looking for. I don't know where that is. But anyway, but yeah, that's what we're looking at. Like, here we go. We can have, oh no, not McNeil. McNeil going through too much problems. We can have a thing Mo, and she can come up here and she can start backhanding everybody else. She's just so much better than everybody else. Barring injury, she is so much better than everybody else. So she can come in here and start up the trash talk. And that would get it entertaining. And she actually can trash talk about something, because she got something behind her. But she's going to get ignored, just like how you guys were ignoring everything in here until I started bringing up Forrest Gump. Then y'all just lit up. So I'm just telling you how you guys are emotionally responding to that. Not even to talk down about you, but just to point out that we're all humans, and that's what they're selling us on our emotions. So Yep. Let me get this here. So they're just telling us, don't shoot the messenger. Don't shoot the messenger now. I'm just letting y'all know that that's what they having for us. But yeah, I think, okay, let me see this. They said, A thing's too humble, raised by Sudanese parents, Thunder Juice said. Good evening, Del Olivier. Del Olivier? I think I said that. Yankee Graham said, don't really hear people talking about Elaine Thompson is the first female to reach the top speed of 40 miles per hour. Oh, interesting. I did not know that. I should have known that because she has the quickest top speed. But yeah, congratulations to Elaine Thompson-Herah being the first female to reach 40 miles per hour as a top speed. You know what? I should cover that. And I'm glad that they have those radars and everything. You know what? I'm going to cover that in the post. Thank you for doing that. Let me write this down in my notes. And I'm going to make sure I looked it up and see everything technically. And they said Shelly 39 miles per hour. Well, not good enough to beat Elaine Thompson-Herah right now. So they said Jamaica would need 3 other females who are good at the 400 to give America the competition. Shericka alone can't do it. We just talking about Shericka Jackson getting a medal. That could be second, that could be first, that could be third. So we don't need her to win. You just need her to medal. Because remember, at the end of the day, they're counting Allison Felix as the most medaled athlete. So that's another thing. They said, why all of the comparisons? I just prefer to enjoy watching everybody competing and making improvements. This is exactly what we need, Hassan. We need the comparisons. And so if we go out here, okay, let me do it. Let me do it here. When I hear somebody do that, and this has nothing to do with you personally, okay? So don't take this one personally. But this is what I hear, all right? Now, I like that Shelly-Ann responded like this.
Jamaica 1, 2, 3. Should we have expected anything differently?
No, you shouldn't have.
She essentially rolled her eyes and said that. But look, when you say nobody, dang, I wish I had the picture right here. Where is this at? Nope. Okay, so here it is. Let me take her off the screen and go to somebody else. Here we go. Let's not compare anybody. Here we go. Here's 2 athletes right here that we are technically comparing. We're all comparing them. We're all comparing them. You know why? One person lost, one person won. Or one person won, everybody else lost. They ran different times. That's a comparison right there. You know, everything in sports is a comparison. So when you say, why are we comparing them? I mean, it would almost be like, yo, why are we watching? But you said you just like to see them, enjoy them running. So here's the other thing. Nothing personal. All right. Guys, just stop comparing them all. Just stop. Everybody hold hands. Skip across the line. No, after you, sir. After you, ma'am. You could go. Go ahead. You go first. I just don't want to win. I don't like when you compare me against somebody else. I'm exactly the same. We're all strong, fast, independent, brave. And we all go out here, we work hard. All of us are exactly the same. And every time I do an interview, it's going to be completely polite to all of my competitors. And when I finish the race, I'm going to hug all of my competitors. I'm not going to walk off. I'm not going to flaunt. I'm not going to show any type of personality. I'm not going to show any of it. That's exactly what we are seeing in track and field right now, which is boring as dirt. It's as boring as me watching the ground and the dirt. I'm just staring at the dirt. Nothing's happening. Now, I do understand that you may have meant comparison in a different way. They said why I was talking about the comparison between. So, okay, fair enough. But there's also the thing there where if we don't have it there, that's why track and field, the numbers and statistics are getting worse and worse and worse. Alan said, I love that picture of Elaine. Yeah, this one is actually a good one. I wish they would change the picture that they got on her profile. That's why I brought this one up and change it to this one, because this one makes her just look better. The other one is just too much of an inaction. This is actually not a bad shot of Talu either. But Steve Patrick said, you love drama too much. That's how we grow sports. Why do you think that football or soccer as it's known in the US, is in some countries, is the most popular sport in the world. Arguably the most popular sport in the world. People literally fight, potentially start a war and or end a war based on soccer. That's why it's so popular. You saw how many emotions that people get into. And these soccer players are trash talking. They flopping. They acting when they about to when trying to get the other person thrown out the match as much as possible. All of them be flopping all over the place. They just acting. Sometimes it's a good flop and they fake it, and then other times it's a bad flop. And they said that's how you grow sports in the United States. I mean, that's how you grow it worldwide. You introduce drama. Yeah, it might be a little bit more dramatic than what some people are used to worldwide, but some type of drama has to be in a sport. Okay, Hassan, you said that's not the case elsewhere, everywhere. Okay, since anybody that disagrees with that, right? There's no arguably about it. It doesn't seem as popular from an American perspective, but worldwide it has no equal. Basketball is kind of encroaching on soccer. That's why I said arguably, because the NBA has been doing a lot. So with that being said, look, if you don't think it's the same elsewhere, tell me why whole stadiums could break out in a brawl because of a soccer game. Tell me why they be bringing those kazoos or something like that. What was the thing that they brought at the one World Cup a time before where they had to ban it and then they couldn't stop the crowd from freaking blowing into those in South Africa? I forgot what the instrument is called, but that is drama. They trying to distract the other team. They trying to be noisy. You couldn't even stop the fans from being that. That's an emotional thing. They said, I ain't gonna listen to you, and they're gonna keep blowing the freaking horns. So that's an emotion. That's soccer. That's the most popular sport. That's not even just in one location. And that started from South Africa. Then they brought it to the next World Cup. The Vuvuzela. There we go. So they blowing the Vuvuzelas all over the place like, yep, I'm about to do this. Oh, the officials want us to be quiet? Hell no. Oh, you want me to stop? Oh, hell no. You could say that to the next guy. And the next guy looks over. Oh, I'm right there with you. And they all blowing it in the background, distracting the matches. The players can't hear each other. And then they said football is a way of life. Bantering is the culture. Yeah, that's what I was trying to explain to the gentleman here. That every single sport involves drama and emotion. And if it doesn't, it's not popular. Straight up. Fencing ain't popular. There is no drama involved in it or anything. So when they try to discredit you with this other stuff, this is how you destroy a sport. Here we go. This is how you destroy a sport. All right, brand new world record just happened. Let's just say that this is true. Let's just say that the new surface does, in fact, improve the performances by 1 to 2%. Why are you mentioning it? Why are you bringing it up? Does that help in any way? I'm looking at it from a business perspective. How are we going to keep growing our sport from a business perspective? Oh, now this dude, he a snitch now. That's the way I'm looking at it. Snitch, the designer, the track designer. Now, on his perspective, hey, he keeps getting hired, and he might be talent that gets stolen. But from the perspective of the people on the outside that barely pay attention to track and field, except for, the normies, same thing with people that don't pay attention to football or anything, right? They don't pay attention to it except at the World Cup or sometimes the Olympics. The vast majority of people that are quote unquote fans of the sport is like they come during the championships. That's what every sport. They get vast numbers. But how is it that this guy says this? Now it's like, now we arguing about the wrong thing. Or a fast time comes and then they say this. This guy's a drug cheat. He missed some tests. Every single time it gets old. That ain't bringing us nothing new. Because you know what everybody says? Oh my goodness, I'm tired. Oh, another drug cheat. See, I told you they can't run fast. The only reason they that fast, man. The only reason they that fast. Man, he was smoking that good. Man, I tell you. Like, that's all the stuff that'll be happening. They'll be like, oh yeah, he was laced up. I see it in the comment section. For the people that's within track and field, that's what's the term that I want to use? That is a term that's inside of track and field only that we will understand. But you go outside that stuff, it's like, nah. They said the business aspect has nearly ruined most sports in the United States. From what perspective? If you talking about the sporting aspect of being entertaining, maybe. Yeah, you know what? Maybe. Except for football, as in American football, I think it's called gridiron, or something like that. So, I don't know if it ruined that, but you said most, so I don't know if I can argue against that one. Actually, you said most. You didn't say all. So, or has nearly ruined most sports in the U.S. They said, I'm not just stating facts. She is the most decorated female athlete. Facts. She has the most of it through relays. E-Dub said, I kind of get what he's saying in that track and field doesn't have a defined culture the way other sports does. Having the storylines we have now creates drama, which sells tickets and sponsorships. Look, I am telling you that, you know what? I can't say this part, because if I ever am the administrator, y'all gonna be like, "Ooh, I know he doing some stuff to sell some controversy." Hey, look, we gotta grow the sport. I just say it that way. If I run a track and field league, we gotta sell the sport. Okay, not saying I'm starting no controversy on purpose. You know what? I'm gonna let the athletes do their own controversy. Look, they can do their own controversy. I'm not gonna be the person that shies away from them causing controversy, because then we get people like myself, we get people like you guys that are here, and we all argue about it. We argue about it. You might tell your friend and a buddy. That's what we need to have, right? We need you to come out and grow the sport, because that's the only thing that's going to happen. But anyway, I've gotten into overtime, so I'm going to end this pretty soon, probably about 14 minutes from now, if not sooner. And right now we're off topic. We covered the topic probably about 20 minutes ago and just diverged into something else. So for the people that were here for that, we covered the topic already. I thank you all for being here. Now, here's the side topics here. Look, I'm going to cover the one with 40 miles per hour. Oh, yeah, don't forget to smash the like button. Thank you, E-Dub, because definitely smash that like button. And anybody that has contributed here, actually, let me see. Thank you all that have contributed, actually, to the PayPal and the Cash App during this stream so far. And also, anybody that has joined the Patreon, because I have not looked at those. Maybe you haven't, so I'm just saying a blank thank you. But I forgot to look. Usually during the streams I do, so then I can shout out exactly the name or something about that. But yeah, they say, I've been told you about the 40 top speed. Give my credit. You didn't say 40 top speed. And matter of fact, you said 39 right now for Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce. Now, they said U.S. athletes need to start hitting international circuit. The USA is not the world. Now, look, if I were to do a track and field league, this is how I would do it. I would make the USA the world. End of story. That's literally how I would do it. It might just like, even with what you just said, USA is not the world. To me, the United States is big enough that it covers Europe, right? Well, with the exception of Russia. So, which technically I'm like, it's part in Asia and part in Europe. But anyway, aside from that, so aside from the Russian part of Europe, we would have a track and field league here. You invite athletes from other countries to be in here. You have them to have different clubs, or as we would call them, teams, depending on what verbiage you use, but same difference in my head. You make it where it's about 18 or 19 teams. You got your superstar athletes, superstar athletes, 3 athletes per event. Reduce the events to about 13. And then you go out there and have a coach for each one of the specialty events, field, distance, and sprinting. And then you can go out there and pay them a living wage of at least, let's say, $35,000 to $50,000 at minimum, and still have them do sponsors. You will have all the competition here. I would run the track league without a concern for the Olympics. Same thing that basketball does. They don't care about the Olympics. They don't try to put anybody toward the Olympics. Instead, they say, well, the NBA is that. What does baseball say? It's the World Finals. I would name something like that for mine. It would be like some not World Athletics Finals. I think that's already taken because of what they used to have. But it'd be like something about track and field World Finals. Something that's maybe short enough, or TF World Finals, TNF. But that's what we need to do in order to grow the sport. And matter of fact, there are actually 2 track and field leagues. One of them is actually recruiting for professional athletes right now. I think I'm going to cover that. Do you guys want me to cover the track and field leagues? I probably should reach out to them to see if they want to even have an interview here, because one just started this year. They were started by, I think, a Jamaican athlete and a couple Americans and everything like that. And so that would be pretty cool to see professional athletes start one. I think they're raising funds for their track and field league, and they're actually paying. Then there's another one that's been going on. They have very similar names and abbreviations. But this is how we can grow the sport. That's what this channel is about too. So it's about growing the sport, getting you guys paid and everything else. And hey, you know what? Maybe I'll make a little money while I'm doing it. It'll be fun along the way. But smash that like button. We got almost 200 people here. Can we get that up to 50 likes? Like, smash the like button. They said, but isn't the Wanda League the same thing? No. Wanda League is not the same thing, because a track and field league would literally be something different. So Wanda League, you're not guaranteed. You're not part of a team. You are a part of your country, which is technically, I guess, a team. And don't forget, smash that like button. Smash it. So if, for example, if you want to come to the Wanda Track League, the Diamond League meetings, you have only a certain amount of races. And of course, they're going to get a priority to like a Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce or whatever. They're trying to get there. And so let me see if I could draw this on the screen. Give me just a second. Let me put this up on the screen. And then I'm going to bring it up because, hold on. There we go. So, a whiteboard. I need to bring up a whiteboard so that I can show you guys this. If you got different teams, you can then have them situated in a town. Now your town is known for a certain team, right? And you can go there. You can see them. You can relate to that. That's the difference between us in our sport and the other ones. We do teams while they're little kids. We do teams while they're in older adolescents, or whatever that term is technically, as teenagers, right? Then we do teams as they're in college, as young adults, and then we stop doing teams. And then we go to country, heritage, and everything like that. Cool, that's fine. How about, I think we could go to country heritage or something like that. What would you do about the European meets we have now? Okay, I'm just catching up to that comment. So, all right. You know what? That's a good question. So, the European meets. They said all of your focus is to popularize track and field in the United States. Track and field is much more popular in other countries than it is in the United States. In Jamaica, track is everything. All right, let me address that one. Jamaica has what? 2 million people, right? So you're talking about a smaller marketplace. You guys got to understand why Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce and other people from Jamaica aren't marketed as much. One, they could get marketed more as they compete more in the United States. There's more money that can come to them because they have to sell. Think about Trike real quick, or the shoe companies. All right, if you got people that are seeing you over and over, but you stay in Jamaica, Usain Bolt had this issue. He came to the U.S. twice, I think. So, or once or twice. So if he stays in Jamaica and then just goes to Europe, which those would be more popular areas to go than the United States, he's not going to, and apparently people don't like this one. They over here is clicking the exit button on this one. But, oh wow, my stream. Hold on. They said rest in peace. Now hold on. What the heck? We over here buffering still? Or what? Okay, I think we're good now. I thought people were exiting because of the thing. It's just because it's buffering. But anyway, I think we're back now. So, without further ado. So, if you, so I'm going to address Europe, and I'm going to address Alan Taylor's question. What would I do about European meets right now? And the other comment, which I can't find right now, that's talking about I would like to popularize it in the United States. Number one, I'm from the U.S., so I would like to, of course, see it in the United States. Two, the United States, and that's just from that bias. Remember, I try to have things as I'm covering track and field as best I can within its, standpoint, right? But I'm not going to forget that I would like to see it here, because that was my original thing. I'm thinking of the United States like the NBA and other things. This formula can be copied to other countries. Don't forget that. It can be copied to other countries. So I'm talking about a track and field league. It said not seeing me? Hold on. That's crazy. But wait a minute. What is going on? Not seeing anything. Okay. No, the background is white. Yeah, the background is white. Hold on just a second. We should be good now. We should be good. All right. We are back. All right. Excellent connection. I just had to make sure. We are back. So, whatever the buffer was, you guys are probably going to be a little bit further behind, but you're going to hear me saying it a couple of times, but we should be good now. So, apparently I'm talking about how to grow the sport, and my stream is getting all types of stuff going wrong. So, I'm going to try to do this as best I can. But, yeah, where was I at? Oh, yeah. So within Europe and within the United States, you could just copy this right now. They said track and field doesn't need to be ruined like the NBA and NFL has been ruined. Look, I'm not a Puritan at all. I really just am not. I do not like things when they're whitewashed. I don't like things when they are just, kumbaya, hold my hands and stuff like that. The athletes are broke as heck. The only ones that got money are the ones that you see the names for. I bet Tiana Daniels is not getting paid as much as she would if all they did was cover her a little bit more. But the way that the human mind works is you're only going to remember a certain amount of people. If you have a league, then you could get the athletes paid. I'm not really concerned about if maybe some people feel it would be ruined or not. My whole thing is I want to get the athletes paid. That is my number one priority with that. Well, that and being entertaining. Those two. Because if you entertain somebody, they will actually get those people paid because they're going to be watching them. Sometimes they'll release their wallets. Sometimes they will actually pay directly for those things. They'll buy tickets or whatever it is. But at the end of the day, my concern is with the athlete and to make sure they got their pockets lined and these athletes are there. Because you know what I hate? I hate that, like, just like Mark Cristiano said, I hate watching meets in the USA. They only cater to USA audience. And then Hassan said it's bad enough that NBC monopolizes Olympic coverage and they're biased. They didn't even interview no US athlete that won. They didn't even interview US athletes that won? Huh, well, wait, what? They said they block everything. I'm confused by that. You mean non-US athletes that won? Oh, well, you gotta think about what country are you seeing the coverage from? Because I saw literally 4 different nation coverages and 1 in Spanish, and they did interview the other athletes. It's just that depending on what nation you're from, they have a bias of what they're gonna do. The Bahamian media is gonna cover more of the Caribbean nations and the Bahamian athletes. So the USA, all you have to do is wear bright wig and long nails and you make money. If that's the case, all right, I'm not even going to say anything. I'm not even going to say anything with that. But anyway, let me get back on topic because I'm just going off topic now. Look, at the end of the day,